money and success can't always save you from what's going on in your head. And this is exactly where Justin Bieber was at one of the worst times in his life. People saw the smile, the music, and the way of life for years. But Justin was fighting a quiet battle that almost killed him behind all of that. Justin made a rare and emotional confession. Some nights the pain was so bad that he didn't even know why he was still alive. He said the thoughts got so heavy and dark that he really thought about killing himself. Not just sadness or stress, but getting to the point where you think, if life hurts this much, why bother living? Fans all over the world were shocked when Justin said those words, because no one ever thought that someone who has everything could be in so much pain. He said he was doing everything he could to help people, love them, and make things right. But he felt like God wasn't even close to him. He felt alone, invisible, and worthless. And when someone gets to that point, when they think their life isn't worth living, that's not just heartbreak, it's trauma. Justin talked about how he cried out, begged for clarity, begged for a reason to live, and begged for something to make the pain make sense. And think about it. This person has been famous since they were a child. Someone who never had a normal life and had to deal with expectations that were too much for most adults. The stress, the criticism, and the mistakes that were made public all added up to a weight that crushed him from the inside. But what scared me most about Justin's confession was that he was in pain. He felt alone in his pain, like he was screaming underwater while everyone else cheered, laughed, judged, and scrolled. That kind of pain doesn't happen all at once. It comes from years of being emotionally drained, years of trying to be strong, and years of acting like everything was fine. And this moment, this confession, was the first time fans really got it. Justin wasn't against being famous. He was at war with himself. Justin Bieber has talked about the worst and most difficult times in his life before. But one specific clip has come back, and it's making the whole internet shake again. At this point, Justin talks about pain in a way that a lot of fans have never heard him do before. A time when he says that fame, stress, and emotional chaos almost made him lose control. He says that sometimes the burden is so heavy that it seems impossible to understand. That feeling when you give it your all, your heart, your energy, and your effort, but nothing seems to work. And that feeling didn't just hurt him, it scared him too. The world stops when someone like Justin Bieber, a global superstar with millions of fans, says he felt completely alone. You begin to see how human he really is. But this is what makes this clip even sadder. Justin wasn't weak when he spoke. He was being honest when he spoke. He talked about a time when he thought God was far away, a time when he thought everything he believed in had let him down. And that really hurt fans because so many people have felt that way too. You feel lost and confused, wondering why things hurt so much even when you mean well. This is where fans start to argue. What was Hailey doing at this time? Where was Selena? Who stood by him during these quiet fights? Justin was fighting demons that no amount of fame, love, or money could fix, even though he was famous. Pain that doesn't go away just because a lot of people yell your name. But this clip also shows something strong. Justin didn't stay in that dark place. He got out of it. He got help. He got help. He also learned how to talk about the emotional storms he used to try to hide. That's why fans have such a deep respect for him today. Being vulnerable doesn't make you weak. It makes you real. People now see him differently because of this moment. Not as the famous person Justin Bieber, but as Justin, a person who is trying to heal, grow, and figure out what he is meant to do. And no matter if you're on Selena's team, Hailey's team, or Justin's team, everyone agrees on one thing. This honesty could be the most powerful thing he's ever said to the world. But this is what people don't get. Justin Bieber is still a person fighting battles that no one else can see, even though he is famous, has a lot of followers, and is in the spotlight. When he talked about those dark thoughts and said he once thought life had no meaning, it shook the whole internet because it wasn't just a celebrity moment. It was a cry from someone who has been under a lot of stress since he was a child. Justin said that there were times when he felt like God wasn't even close to him. Days when the pain didn't make sense. Days when he gave it all, the music, the work, the love, and still felt empty. And for the first time, fans learned something. Justin wasn't fighting for his job. He was fighting his own mind. And this is when everything changed. Because at this time, his relationships were going in all sorts of directions. People kept saying Selena and Hailey were the same. The news kept bringing his name into the drama, and Justin was stuck between two worlds. The world people wanted him to live in, and the world he wanted to make for himself. It wasn't normal pressure. The expectations were out of the ordinary. Not only was the hate he got not normal, but it wasn't normal either. But Justin made a choice, a quiet choice that most people don't notice. Instead of letting the darkness take him, he chose to get better. He picked therapy. He chose to be honest. And he decided to face the pain he had been avoiding for years. That's when fans started to see a change. In interviews, his voice started to break in a different way. His words got deeper. His eyes looked more tired, but they also looked more real. And all of a sudden, all the little things like the emotional pauses, the deep breaths, and the long silences made sense. Justin wasn't weak. He was putting things back together. This is the part that shocked the internet the most. He felt alone. Even though there were millions of people around him, he still thought people didn't get him. And that loneliness made him speak out, not to get attention, but to stay alive. Sometimes the best thing a person can do is admit that they're in pain. And no matter if you like Selena, Hailey, or Justin, one thing was clear. It wasn't about drama anymore. It was about a man who was trying to find peace in a world that won't let him. Justin Bieber has always been open about his worst times, but not many people know how close he came to completely falling apart. And this one moment in his life changed him in a big way. It changed everything about him. Selena, Hailey, the fans, the industry, and everyone else who was watching from the outside. There was a person behind the fame, the lights, and the name Justin Bieber, who was quietly scared of his own mind. He said that the stress got so bad that he wondered if life was even worth living. And when someone gets to that level of pain, it's no longer fun. It turns into survival. Imagine giving your all to the world every day and still feeling like you're not enough. Think about how many people are yelling your name, but you can't even hear your own voice. That's exactly where Justin ended up. People could blame Selena's past, Hailey's presence, or the chaos of the internet. It didn't matter. All the noise turned into a heavy silence where nothing made sense anymore. Justin wasn't fighting with fans. He wasn't going up against the media. He wasn't trying to end old relationships. He was at war with himself. And people don't talk about that part. They only see the news, the drama, and the comparisons. But when Justin said he thought God wasn't listening and that he was too broken to keep going, he was being more honest than most famous people would ever be. Being more honest than most famous people would ever be. It didn't happen very often. It was true. And it makes sense of so much that happened after that. The breaks from music, the emotional distance, the sudden changes in his personality, and the way he tried to keep relationships going while he was drowning. From that point on, everything in his life changed. People who liked the show were fighting. People on the internet were comparing him to his old self, his past with Selena, his marriage to Hailey, and the high expectations he could never meet again. Justin wasn't trying to prove anything anymore, though. He was just trying to get some air. Because healing isn't always pretty. Healing doesn't always look strong. Sometimes getting better means going away. Sometimes crying all night is part of the healing process. Sometimes healing means starting over, even when everyone else won't let you forget your past. After that, Justin stopped trying to be a superstar. He was trying to be human again. And that fight is still going on. And maybe that's what the world needs to know. The industry didn't make Justin into a 16-year-old kid. No matter how many people try to pull him back into drama he never wanted, he's a grown man trying to put himself back together piece by piece. So you might support him because of his past, with Selena, his present with Hailey,